49 Hours by ScribeOfRhapsody. Today we're on Chapter 11, Hour 22 to 24 of 49. And yes, we're recording this exactly after Chapter 10, because screw that cliffhanger. My name's Amanda.
And I'm Chris, and I apologize for the occasional roboticness of Amanda. I built her in a lab.
I'm robotic again?
Yep.
Oh. Okay, apparently I was built in a lab. Good to know.
That's alright, I was sitting there watching the Pokemon anime, and they were talking about the Nurse Joy Jenny thing again in the new season. I'm like, God damn it, people, just accept the fact. After they cloned Mewtwo, they just started making clones of Nurse Joys and Jennies and started distributing them around the world.
Nice. Does that mean that Nurse Joy and Jenny are Pokemon?
Nope, just human clones.
I think they're Pokemon clones.
Yes, they're actually humanized versions of Chanseys and Growlithe.
Yes. Anyways.
That's slight detour aside.
Let's get started. Arnea backtracked down the hall, a water bottle in one hand and coins jingling in the other. It wasn't a welcome sound, just an unpleasant reminder of the profession that she'd normally loved but hated at the moment. No kidnappings was going in the contract next time she found someone who wanted to hire them. No matter how this all turned out, she was done with the Empire. They could kiss her ass. What the hell? She stopped, noticing the very obvious absence of the man she'd left next to the vending machine. Okay, so in hindsight, it was a stupid idea that she expected him to keep his word. But really, where he's going to go?
Arnea is so freaked out at this point, she's messing up the sentence.
She can't English like us.
We can't even English, so if we can't English, she can't English.
Oh, come on. She pocketed the coins with an annoyed sigh. This was difficult enough without Ignis pulling this kind of pointless crap. She really didn't want to fight him. If this was some sort of attempt to ambush her, she was going to be very unhappy.
Oh, she was going to be incredibly unhappy.
Oh, 6. She was anything but squeamish around blood, but the sight of the puddle of it where she had left Ignis had dread making her stomach do a flip. She sprinted over, eyes following the smeared trail of crimson across the carpet until she found its source.
All the blood.
Yeah. It was horrifying, morbid sight. It was a horrifying, morbid sight that looked like it could have been the screenshot for a suicide awareness poster. The way Ignis was slumped, his forehead resting against the glass where the sunlit the sunlit city lay before him. He might have looked peaceful if it weren't for the blood trail and how his arms were still restrained behind him. Shit!
That's an understatement.
Yeah. Arnea bolted to his eyes.
Bolted to his eyes. Let's hope they're open.
I can't English today.
Yes, but you're adorable when you mess up. It probably doesn't help, but it's still adorable.
Arnea bolted to his side, sliding her knees and pressing her fingers to his neck. There, he still had a pulse, but it was weak. Biggs, Wedge, I need a potion in here, stat! She'd already used her last potion on Biggs earlier. Gently, she pulled Ignis away from the window, his glasses falling off as she did so. She ignored that, laying him out on the floor and searching for the wound. No slit throat, his torso was blood-free. His torso was blood-free, actually. His head dropped back gently onto the carpet, and Arnea's stomach gave another flip as she as she spotted his still wet cheeks. Okay, here, you do narrating for a bit, because apparently I can't narrate today.
Okay. She swore again, his words coming to mind with entirely different meaning now. Oh, shite. You were clicking for a while there, so I was a little confused. You'll gain no information from me. He'd always known he wouldn't have a chance against the Empire's torture, but he had meant those words every time he said them. He always had this in his head as a last resort if he couldn't escape. Found it. Damn it, this guy was nothing if not efficient. It might already be too late to save him, and if it wasn't, it would be too soon. It would be soon. I said too soon. The thud of multiple sets of footsteps were... Apparently I can't English either. The thud of...
Okay, I'll go back to trying, because this is still Arnea's perspective.
Yeah.
So.
I'll try and do Ignis's if we ever get to that.
Yeah, if you want, we'll change up narrating based on whose perspective it is.
Yeah.
Okay. The thud of multiple sets of footsteps were just outside.
Sets of footsteps.
Multiple sets of footsteps. That's what I said. Why?
You said steps. Or either that or I heard steps.
No, I thought I said sets. Anyways.
Lady A?
Wedge asked as the three of them passed the doorway.
Oh, 6!
Biggs said shakily, looking as white as a shirt.
What the hell happened?
Loki shoved in front of the other two. He cut his femoral artery. Arnea snapped her fingers, holding out her hand. Potion! Wedge motioned with his empty hands.
Out.
Loki looked on the verge of having a stroke. Please, stroke, 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 stroke!
No stroking. We are not in the middle of a rowing competition. I apologize, that was bad.
That was very bad.
But you laughed anyway.
What you should have said is, I didn't know we were in a rowing competition. Desperately, the three of them looked to Biggs. He had his hand over his pocket, and Arnea knew he had to have one left. You gonna say the line I accidentally skipped?
Biggs!
His jaw was set firmly, his mouth pressed into a grim line. Arnea's first instinct was to scream at him, but then she understood. Saving him was crueler than letting him die.
What are you doing?
Loki hissed, confiscating the potion and nearly dropping it before he cracked it over Ignis's form. There honestly wasn't much visible change. A potion wouldn't replace blood already lost. Arnea checked his pulse a few moments later, and it was still thrumming steadily.
Well...
Loki demanded. He'll live, for now, she reported. Live so he could die in an even worse way later. Loki rounded on Biggs, jabbing a finger into his chest.
The funny thing is, when you said you were trying to say potion, I thought you were going to say postman. A postman wouldn't replace blood already lost.
Yeah.
Do you have a death wish? Not for myself.
Biggs back. Loki's expression twisted into true fury.
Keep testing my limit and I will! You'll what?
Biggs swatted his hand away.
Have us killed? You've already made that threat a dozen times, mate. It can only be so threatening.
A weak groan interrupted their bickering, drawing attention back to Ignis once more. His brow was knit with confusion as he slowly blinked, taking in his surroundings. Arnea could tell the exact moment when he realized what had happened because his face filled with dread.
No. I'm afraid your little stunt has failed once again.
Loki punctuated his sentence by taking a step forward and punching Ignis right in the face, knocking him out again. Screw you, Loki.
Can someone please put Loki out of our misery?
Please. Loki, what the hell? Arnea snapped, as furious as she was at the action in general. It didn't even make any sense from the standpoint of finishing the mission. You said we were supposed to be moving now.
We are.
Loki headed for the door, glaring at Biggs.
You can carry him. Oh, that sucks.
Buzz, chirp, 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 chirp.
Wait, isn't this from Nox's perspective?
Yeah.
Should I do this, or do you want to do this?
Thing is, if you do everything from the perspective of the guys, I'm really gonna get to talk.
Tell you what, I'll only do Ignis's perspective.
Okay. Nox was exhausted, so much that he was actually thankful when Prompto's phone buzzed. He stopped, clambering over to sink down against the side of a building as he pulled the phone out. His chest heaved for a few moments, and he squinted at the screen until he caught his breath enough to make it stop wavering, so he could actually read it. It was from his phone, a message from Prompto then. Dude, you keep getting messages. Don't think I can stay quiet much longer. Not even you sleep this much. Noctis glanced at the time. Already 9 already. Damn it, no wonder his dad was getting suspicious. Probably the only reason Noctis had been left alone this long was because his dad and everyone around him were so busy. It had been hours since the text he'd sent to Gladio as prompto, saying he was over at the apartment and Noctis was sleeping. Buzz, chirp, 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 chirp. The phone lit up again. This is Gladio.
Okay, I take it I'm doing the text.
Yeah, because it's Gladio.
Okay. You still at Nox's place?
Noctis let his thumb hover over the screen, changing his message to sound like prompto required some thought.
Yep.
Yup. Thumbs up emoji, game emoji.
He's still asleep?
Knocked out cold. Noctis grinned, proud of himself as he got back to his feet. That sounded just like Prompto, but it would only be so long before they figured out Noctis really wasn't at his apartment.
Seriously, Prompto? This isn't the time for jokes. Iggy's life is on the line.
Damn it, he was an idiot. Of course Prompto would be that cheerful in this situation. Sorry. I'll let you know when Noct wakes up.
I'm gonna come over there and drag his ass out of bed before long.
Great, just what he needed. Once that actually Noctis' search was over, his father could have Prompto's phone tracked easily and Noctis throw it away. Firstly, Prompto would make him feel terrible about it, and secondly, what good was finding Ignis if he didn't tell anyone where he was? Growling under his breath, Noctis took off again into the darkened streets. Maybe he needed to check closer to the wall. Aranea had her hands balled into fists as they continued on, her breath huffing out through her gritted teeth. She didn't know if Loki was pleased or not with his plan, but she was pissed either way. Ignis may have been lean, but Biggs was still struggling with carrying his weight so far, and as hard as it was to watch Biggs staggering along, Ignis' pale skin and slowly darkening eye made it even worse. Her one conciliation was that they were making much slower progress. If only a real glaive would stumble upon them, that might solve a lot of problems. Biggs stumbled over something, nearly dropping Ignis in the process. Wedge looked ready to leap in and help, but last time he offered to, Loki had told him to stand down because he wanted Biggs to do it. Loki? Aranea snapped. If he's going to carry him the whole way, he's going to need brakes. Loki let out a disgusted noise.
We've barely been walking.
Yeah, says the guy not carrying just under 200 pounds of extra weight. He needs a break. Aranea dared him to argue with her tone. Loki heaved an irritated sigh, pulling out the new phone he'd gotten from the envelope. He beckoned them to follow him as he picked the lock on the doors to another office building and let them into the lobby.
10 minutes, no more.
He stayed by the door, arms crossed as the rest of them filed in. He shot Wedge a glare.
You, stay here and guard the right. I'll take the left.
Something she couldn't actually fault him for. The doors were large and glass. 2 guards would be better suited for watching it. Aranea followed Biggs as he set Ignis down so he was upright and leaning against the lobby desk. Biggs sighed tiredly, stretching his arms. Aranea pointed to a water dispenser nearby. Go ahead and get some. He nodded.
You need any?
She pulled out the water bottle from her jacket pocket that she got from earlier before Ignis killed himself.
The thing is, she got that because I called him English this time. It was me calling him English this time. Ignis needed to distract her so he could kill himself.
I know. I'm set, thanks. She knelt down in front of Ignis, pulling his coat lapel aside and reaching for his vest pocket. She knew she'd seen him place a handkerchief there earlier after he'd finished changing in the mall. She found it easily, tugging it out of the pocket, but she pulled out something else as well. She frowned, picking up the paper from the floor. It was a small picture, meant for a pocket by the looks of it, with a messy happy birthday specs penned on the back of it. Spect, huh? It fits him. She flipped it over. Even in the darkness of the room, the joy of the 4 young men in the photo was palpable. 2 of the men she didn't recognize, some scrawny blonde kind? I wonder if that's supposed to say kid, who looked younger than Ignis, and a muscly guy who looked a little older. The kid sitting closest to Ignis in the picture was undeniably the prince. Fresh waves of guilt washed over her, and she replaced the photo in his pocket before wetting the handkerchief with her water bottle. He had some dried blood under his nose that she wanted to get off. Thankfully, his nose didn't look broken. His eye had taken a greater part of the impact. Obviously, it was almost the same purple as the inside of his coat. Sorry, I zoned out for a second there.
I was thinking about plums.
Well, read the story.
The thing is, I'm reading the story, and when I thought purple, I thought plum, and it made me hungry.
Luckily, I ate already.
I ate too. It doesn't stop me from getting hungry.
Yeah, that's true. His cheek was bruised too, but there really wasn't anything she could do about any of it, not with their lack of potion supply. Oh, I hit the wrong button. There we go. Gently, she cleaned up the blood with the wet cloth. Much longer in the city, and she'd be making a habit of this. Ignis stirred under her touch, probably from the pain. His eyes dragged open slowly, looking tired and angry. He pulled away from her. Aranea sighed. Really? This is how you want to play it?
I had a chance to end this for both of us.
He huffed.
Why didn't you let me?
Loki's the one that dropped the potion on you, not me. He scoffed.
And he was the one who found me.
She didn't answer him. He was right. She shouldn't have called for help, but it was her instinct to act fast when an ally was in danger. Ally, right? Because they were anywhere near that. He could be. Something in the back of her head said. Yeah, he could be your boyfriend too.
Husband, father of your children.
Yeah. If you went to the Lucians. But really, what would actually happen if she did that? What would happen to Biggs and Wedge? A 19-year-old's word, no matter how well respected he was, could only go so far. After all this, the Lucians would hardly be welcoming. Not like they'd just let the 3 of them go.
Where are my spectacles?
Ignis asked after a moment, squinting.
Over here.
Oh, here. Aranea fished the glasses out from her other pocket. You're lucky they fell off earlier. Loki might have punched you anyway.
Of that, I have no doubt.
He muttered as she gingerly returned them to their usual place. At least now he could see well out of one eye, since his swollen one probably wasn't the clearest.
I see you've awakened again.
Loki glared at Ignis as he walked over. Aranea stood, keeping herself somewhat between them. So help her, if he tried to...
I'll have to remedy that.
Ignis flinched as Loki drew his hand back.
Oh,
hell no. Aranea pulled her... Oh, this part is so satisfying. Aranea pulled her leg back, nailing Loki in the chest with a sidekick, knocking him on his ass. Yay!
Now, if only she had kicked him out a window.
Yeah. Enough, Loki. You're here to deliver him, not take out your anger issues on him. Loki shoved himself up on his elbows, face contorted in fury.
Don't test me, Highwind. I really hate the fact that I have to do this guy's voice.
I know. Her fingertips thrummed and her lance appeared before she hurled it to land an inch from his head, flashing with bright red energy. Don't test me! She jerked to the side, his face paling. Oh, sorry, Loki jerked to the side, his face paling.
I can still have you hunted down by the Empire. I don't think she gives a damn at this point.
And that's the only reason you're still alive, Aranea thundered. Got that? Because you are treading a very thin line here, Loki, and if you push me much further, we'll gladly take the consequences in exchange for getting rid of you.
Lady A?
Loki hissed, shoving himself to his feet.
You have the Lucians? You'd have the Lucians and the Imperial Army after you. You'd have no sanctuary on this planet. Lady A?
she snorted. Yeah, maybe to give us an award. I don't understand that line. Maybe to give us an award?
For killing him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I get the line now. Yeah, okay.
Lady A!
Wedge pulled out his gun, eyes narrowing at the door. Aranea and Loki both turned their attention to him. Aranea grabbed her lance from where it was sticking into the floor. What? What did you see?
A glowing blue trail.
Wedge grunted.
Someone who can warp. Cliffhanger!
End. Dun dun dun!
Oh, but that little go between RNA and Loki was therapeutic.
Oh, I know.
Just drop kick him straight through the freaking... No, don't drop kick him through the building. Kill him, and then impale him, and stick him on your lance outside the city walls.
Yeah, please. But anyways, that was chapter 11. What was your opinion, Chris?
Yeah, I like the fact that someone finally retaliated against Loki.
Yeah, I appreciated it all.
I was wondering how far he could go before he pushed them too far.
Yeah, RNA's patience isn't exactly this is the most patient RNA has ever been in her life, probably.
Simply because of Biggs and Wedge.
Yeah.
But I think Loki's found the pressure point that he doesn't want to push.
Her future husband.
Yep. Just becomes her and Ignis become the new head of, they're not the Empire. I'm trying to...
Insomnia?
Comes the new head of Insomnia Intelligence.
Yes. RNA is the brute force, Ignis is the brains.
Yep.
But anyways, that was chapter 11 of 49 Hours by ScribeOfRhapsody. We'll see you all in the next chapter.
Assuming we're not about to do this immediately after.
Probably gonna do it immediately after.
The problem is we're running out of chapters that we actually have done and ready to do this.
Oh, I know. Right now, chapter 12 is the last chapter I've got formatted.
Yep. So, hope you guys enjoyed.
Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.